We are live. So, all right, welcome everyone. I am Tyler Lovell. I'm with OrthoPatients.com, and we run a unique Facebook marketing ad strategy, which consists of Facebook ads and automatic chatbots. And today I have a practice with me, Dr. Bhatia, and her TC or office manager, Patti, who's going to be joining us talking about results from conversational-based marketing and their follow-up techniques. They've had amazing success using our systems, and we have asked them and invited them for a short interview today to go over their follow-up strategies. We feel that a lot of doctors could gain value from what they have done and creating amazing systems and starting lots of new patients. So I'm going to go ahead and turn over a short introduction to Dr. Bhatia real fast and introduce her and her practice. So Dr. Bhatia, go for it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Tyler. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. So we're a very small practice based in Maui, Hawaii. And this is actually my 5th practice from scratch. And yeah, I have a hole in my head, so don't laugh about it. But my other practices were large practices, high volume practices. That with time, I've been practicing for about 18 years now. And with time, I wore out with the high intensity and the high pace. And so this time when I started, I wanted on purpose to have a practice that was manageable and small in size and yet efficient and productive. So this is that practice. This is the 5th practice that I am now trying to build on a model where bigger is not better, is smaller and efficient is better.
Fantastic. Thank you for that introduction. And then we have her TC or office manager, Patti, with us today. And Patti, if you want to go ahead and share just a short introduction about you and your roles with Dr. Bhatia.
Okay, well, I'm Dr. Bhatia's practice manager. What that means is that you wear a lot of different hats in the office. You know, you are marketing, follow-up, assistant. I mean, you know, the list just goes on and on. But I think the best thing about this is that it just saves time. And I know everybody should do it. I think it would benefit any practice that would incorporate it into it.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Well, we're going to go and jump into 5 simple questions today. We don't want to keep the audience too long, and we all have things going on today. So we're going to go ahead and jump on to question number 1 for Dr. Bhatia and Patti. So first question is, what results have you seen from using conversational-based marketing, Facebook ads, and automatic chatbots? How has that helped your office grow? And any one of you could jump in and answer that.
So I'll start first, and then I want Patti to sort of fill in the blanks. But when I first signed you up, when I first signed up with OrthoPatients, I was very trepidant. And here was the trepidation, that the quality of patients that we would get through Facebook and social media would be so-so. So I still wanted to do it. So we started. And just the very first few patients that we got were just shoppers. And so I was starting to, you know, my trepidation was starting to sort of sink in. And I was like, I don't know if we want this. And then as our ads started to grow in frequency, and I think as people sort of logged in and as we sort of established our continuity, the quality of our patients, and Patti can affirm this or attest to it, the quality of patients doing the conversation and seeking the consults has gradually gotten better. And yes, now it's almost like every new lead is a consult. We don't even have to weed them out anymore. We are just getting super good quality patients. So that's the most exciting factor of this. Like when we first started, it was just people that we didn't know what to do with. And then I don't know if it was the quality of the ads that you put in, Tyler. I don't know what changed it, or the fact that we were just there all the time and people were just waiting to see if we were like fly-by-nighters or we were consistent. I don't know what changed it, but it is good now. So that magic wand needs to stay.
Fantastic.
Patti, yeah, you can attest to the quality of the bot.
You know, I think the best thing for me is that it saved a lot of time as a TC. It's just been wonderful that if they are a looky-loo or somebody that just, has no idea about dentistry, like they call me, sometimes they get on there and they talk about dentures. Do we do dentures? Do we do this? It's so nice to be able to go on there, answer the question, give them just the answers that they need, and it saves them from coming into our office and doing a complete exam and x-rays and pictures, and then finding out that, oh, really? Oh, I didn't even want that. It keeps that from even happening now. The people that I'm able to bring into the office now actually start, and they're actually, because they've already had their questions answered before they even walk in the door.
Yeah. So going along with what Dr. Bhatia and Patti said before we jump on to question number 2, Facebook ads do take time to kind of get the ball rolling. Just like a child takes time to walk, Facebook, is the same way. Facebook ads have to be up in the area for a few weeks to start to see the magic happen. Once the magic happens, once the ball starts rolling, the ball just continues to grow and grow and snowball, and the snowball effect happens after that. So that's fantastic. Another thing, a lot of clients will say, we save them lots of time from meeting with bogus leads or leads that want to waste time or tire kickers and things like that,
Right.
because a chat bot completely will self-qualify people. So I'm glad you guys brought that perspective up on this interview. So question number 2. What strategies, and this is going to be more towards Patti's direction here on the call, but what strategies have you used to help close new patients, whether that is using a virtual exam link and different follow-up skills? So I guess what strategies have you used to close new patients?
Strategies. I think the strategies that I use the most is that they schedule, something with us. Like if they've taken the time to give me their information, they've sent their photos. I really emphasize with them when they do schedule something with me, I don't leave any questions unanswered. Like I tell them, if there's somebody that's going to be helping you with the financing or somebody that has to help you make the final decision, please, feel free to bring them in with you. Because when you come into our office, we set aside time for you to start that day. So, and that really, really makes it real. Like they're like, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, pick your financing option, and we set aside that time. If we have time that day, we'll put in separators or braces or whatever it is that we need to do in order to get you started, Invisalign, records, whatever. And the patients are like, if I know they're really serious and they really want to start, they're going to schedule that day and they're ready to start and sign on the dotted line when they come in. So, or if not before then, because I've already sent them the OrthoPi slider and I tell them just start from there, put in your credit card information, even your automatic payments will be set up right then and there. And we won't even need to mess with that when you come in. We're just going to take your records and get you started.
I think she's talking about when we do the virtual. And so when we do the virtual, we will actually pull in the photos that they've submitted on Messenger as a screen share.
Right.
And I will discuss everything related to their diagnostics right there with the photos that Patti pulls in from Messenger. And then we have OrthoPi, which helps us to show them their fee presentation. And so then when I'm done with my diagnostic, that's what Patti was just talking about, that she can then go on to tell them how much it's going to cost without us really meeting them. I mean, they can
Right.
come in if they want, but she actually gets them sold on starting before they come in.
Before they come
send us
in.
photos.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if they're apprehensive, then on the day that they come in for their records.
Perfect.
Right.
So, with that being said, if you guys don't mind, I know you guys have numbers kind of logged for different things like that and in regards to new starts. With this program, how many new starts on average or what you're comfortable sharing with us today, have you guys started in the last couple months? I know you guys kind of broke it down month by month, but do you guys have any numbers that you guys like to share with the audience today?
Can you remind me which month we signed up with you, Tyler? Was it April?
Late April, early May.
Wow. Okay. Well,
It wasn't that long.
I know. I thought it was longer than that.
Right.
Anyway, so and Patti, fill in. May was a good month, and then June and July were just we just batted out of the park. In all my big practices, I've never had, like, we would have 4 starts a day, 2 to 4 starts every working day. It became the norm for us. And if we didn't have a start, Patti and I would look at each other and we go, what? No starts today? You know, it was just like we would have, I would have 2 virtuals a day and maybe 2 in offices each working day. That was June and July. And then August, how was August, Patti?
It was like phenomenal. I had, what did we have, 21?
That was July. July was 21. How was August?
21.
Oh,
August,
wow.
I'm sorry, August was 8. August was 7 or 8. Yeah.
We haven't closed the month yet.
Down, but we didn't have as many exams. It was like Tyler explained, school started. A lot of people
started,
really
yeah. But you know what? It's picked up again. Now I see roughly 5 to 6 inquiries every day. So I know that September is going to pick back up again. But basically, it's been, Tyler, it's been the game changer, is all I can tell you. It's the magic dust that has sprinkled over our practice.
Thank you for that. And then I have to ask, I know you guys mentioned about virtual exams. You guys make it a system in your office to see virtual, you try to get them on virtually before you see them in office. Is that your guys' system, and how do you guys approach that?
Try to get them in virtually first?
Correct, yeah.
We don't always do that. It's not 100%, right, Patti?
No. Some people I noticed after we were open, when they found out, like if I give them a choice, they want to get out of the house. It's almost like they're excited to get out of the house. They're like, oh my God, you're open? And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, either way, if you want to send your photos or, you know, so I think some people want to get out. So right now, I don't know, it's probably, what would you say, Dr. Bhatia, 50-50?
I would say 50-50. 50 would prefer a virtual and 50 would prefer in an office. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Patti, question for you. When it comes to follow-up, this is key for any program, whether you're using Google ads, you have SEO, you have a good website, you're doing, you know, any kind of lead source that comes in your practice. Let's just say you get their name, their phone number, and email. And let's even say they come in through Facebook, for example. What does your follow-up look like when you get that new lead? When someone comes to you with their name, phone number, and email, and potentially through Facebook, how do you follow up with them to get them in the office?
Okay, so what I do is if they've given me their name, address, and phone number, which a lot of them don't, as you can see, some of them are just looky-loos and they've just let the bot and then everything falls by the wayside. So you'll get those ones. I always make sure that I at least acknowledge them, thank them for coming and looking at our website, or, you know, or hope that we answered all their questions on Messenger. The ones that give me all of their information, I have an intake form that I use and I put it all out, you know, I put them all in. I call them first. I don't even go on Messenger first. I call them, leave them a personal, you know, message, and then I would put that away. I call them and leave them a message, and then I also go back on Messenger and let them know that I did that just in case. And then I put that aside, and I have kind of different areas that I put them in, and I just follow up with them. I set aside probably, well, Tuesday is my day to do, so I just go in there and I just call them all. I'm just going to call them all till I bug them. I just call them until they tell me, hey, don't call me anymore. Right. I'm not interested. That's when I get rid of them. I go onto the computer and say, patient told me not to follow up with them anymore. They're pal. Thank them for their time. Say if we can ever help them.
I'm encouraging Patti, Tyler, to do that first phone call as a video text instead of. So I'm encouraging her to do that. I don't think she's gotten in the habit of it, but I think it'll be more meaningful if she sends it as a video text. So I'm encouraging her to do that. So I'm hoping that she will start to do that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that. I love that excitement that you have about follow-up, Patti, and I love that suggestion you have too, Dr. Bhatia. One of the things I have to tip my hat to and give this office credit is their follow-up. Patti has been phenomenal following up and getting people in the door and starting treatment. We wanted
go Patti.
We wanted to invite them on this call, on this interview, just to kind of pick their brains and find out you know, what their systems are, you know, the tenacity to go out there and follow up, you know, call them until they say, hey, I'm not interested anymore.
Right.
That's the kind of follow-up that practices need, that persistence.
Well, you have to have a thick skin, you know, it's not you personally. You just have to look at it and say, it's not you. It's not that they're saying, Tyler, I don't like you, so I'm not going to start with you. It's just they weren't interested. They weren't, you know, they weren't ready at that point in time. So just got to make sure that they know that when they are, you are there, you know, and don't take it personal.
Absolutely. No, that's phenomenal. I do feel like some offices and some front staff may take that personally, but, you know, you got to just have that thick skin, like what you said. And, you know, as long, you know, they submitted that information, so they were interested at one point. And so as long as you follow up, that's great. So I'm going to move on to our last question here. Now, this is for both of you. What would be your top 2 to 3 suggestions for new or struggling practices to gain more new patients? And we have about 10 minutes left on this call, so I just kind of want to give you guys that option of answering 2 to 3 suggestions for anyone that's listening to this, this interview today. What would you recommend to any new or struggling practices on how to grow their practice?
Well, I'll go first, and then Patti can jump in. Or Patti, do you want to go first?
Well, I can go first.
Okay.
But, I have a couple of suggestions for the bigger offices. If you have someone designated to do this, I would suggest that you give them, like, say, you know, a designated time, like maybe 2 hours a day, because, you know, don't get me wrong, this does take a lot of time. And if you've got other things that are weighing on your brain that you need to do, it's going to be really tough. So if you can designate a couple of hours a day for you to go in there and answer everybody and take ownership of that messenger or of that Facebook page and answer all of their questions, I think you'll have more success, because you need to treat them like a friend. That, I think that the turning point for me was to treat it, because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I felt stupid, you know, and I just had Dr. Bhatia help me have some pre-canned responses to save me some time. So for the people that I didn't have all the information on, or if they were just looky-loos, I would have a pre-canned response that still was personal from me, but it was something that I could use just really quickly, and then concentrate on the ones that, you know, really were interested and really did want to make an appointment. That gave me more time to personalize, you know, my response, put in some personal pearls, and they're like, oh my God, yes, my son went through braces, and, you know, he was in it for 2 years, and oh, don't worry, extractions are not that big of a deal. I had it done, or I wore Invisalign, and try to get in there and personalize it. Just treat it like your own page, even though it's not. But, you know, treat it like it's your own, and use that kind of verbiage. Don't be so like technical. Don't go in there and, you know, give them all this technical terms, because they don't know. You know, treat it like you're talking to your, you know, your daughter or your, you know, cousin or whatever. That's what I do.
Great, Patti. I have a renewed appreciation for what you do. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Well, fantastic. No, I love that suggestion. You know, talk to them like you're their friend, like your family. Yeah,
exactly.
Don't be a canned, robotic, responsive individual.
And, you know, there is a place for that. So we, like Patti said, we did have a few that we sort of pre-did that we realized the questions were the same over and over. So we had a few that she would cut and paste, but even those she would personalize. So she would cut and paste, but she would still make it her own for the need of the patient.
That's fantastic. Well,
and then from my standpoint, I would say so I still consider us a new practice. We're only in our 3rd year. So I still think we're a new practice. Are we struggling? Gosh, I don't know if I want to use that term, but, you know, we're still growing.
I haven't even been here with you a year. I've only been here for what, 8 months or something. So we're still learning each other too.
I know. So my passion is to keep adding ways to make myself more efficient. And I highly recommend your company, Tyler, for the reason that you guys have been very easy to deal with. You are very responsive, which I love. And the other companies that I would hire, they would give me a really good talk before I signed on the dotted line, and then it would become very canned. And I would talk to, it was never the same person. They were either too big, or it just became, it would become impersonal after the line was, the dotted line was signed. You guys stayed personal through the whole thing. You've stayed involved. You've customized our plan for us and our needs. And I think your consistency, and that goes from your integrity. I think you guys are doing what you say you will do. And that has meant a lot to me, because I have noticed that a lot of the bigger social media advertisers lack consistency and integrity. So for me, that has been great with your company.
Thank you.
So I've never hired somebody to do what you're doing. I've always wanted to. So, you know, starting out, it was like, oh my gosh, can we afford, you know, this monthly payment? But you have more than earned your buck with me. And thank you for that. And I think what I would say to the newer practices is find ways to make yourself more efficient by adding things that make you more efficient. So we have OrthoPhi, that's like an employee for us that does a lot of the things that would take up Patty's time. And then we also have designated time. So literally we start clinic at noon every day. So Patti has the mornings to then do all of this that she just talked about. So perhaps just think out of the box and think that there are more efficient ways to do things, and find a monitoring system where you don't have to bring patients in every 6 weeks or 8 weeks. We are putting our patients out, you know, many weeks. So even though we're starting all these patients, literally our clinic time is not that busy. So let's see how long we can keep it up.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Thank you for your responses. I just want to add one quick thing. As a marketer, you know, we take pride in our results. You know, we work our hardest to give doctors the most leads as possible. And the doctors and the staff members who start the most patients have the best follow-up and have the best personal touch when it comes to follow-up. That's why we want to invite this doctor today and the office manager, Patti, on the call to go over a few things that we talked about, you know, follow-up, what they do, their roles, and anything that they would suggest to new or struggling doctors out there. You know, one of the things that I just want to close with is doctors that invest in their teams and invest in their TCs and office managers, gives them training, help them to develop those follow-up skills, will ultimately start more new patients. And some of these follow-up skills are natural. Some of them have to be learned. But, you know, Patti, it may have came straight out of the gate, you know, may have come natural with her. But giving your team resources and knowledge that they could go and learn from and train and study to become good follow-up and salespeople in the office, that's what's really going to make your office thrive during this time. So in closing, that's just what I wanted to suggest to doctors out there listening is, you know, give your team the investment of training, becoming good follow-up and good salespeople in the office. And so I want to thank Patti and Dr. Bhatia today for joining me on this.
And another thing is sharing the bounty. And so Patti, I won't discuss what our system is, but the more cases we start, the higher her take-home salary is. So sharing the bounty, you know, sharing the bounty. Yep.
Yeah, we were talking probably about a month or two ago. I was on the phone with Patti and Dr. Bhatia, and Patti shared this line with me. She's like, you know what? The more money the doctor makes, the more money I make. And I laughed at that, but that's totally true. Like, you know, we're all in this together. You know, let's all help each other out. And
yeah, I feel totally vested all the way around.
Absolutely.
You know, I feel vested all the way around. I mean, because like I was telling Dr. Bhatia, it's not just the money for me. I mean, everything that I look around here, you know, things when I'm here, everything is important to me because it makes an impression. So, you know, and it helps me if they like the office, if it's a clean office, if it's, you know, if we've got the latest technology to share it. And, you know, it just makes you feel like you're part of something, not just, you know, an hourly. You know, if you're just paying this person hourly, they're going to come in, they don't care. You know, they're just going to do their time and leave 8 hours later, you know.
Right. Well, hey, I have to get going here. I'm going to go ahead and close this session out today. But thank you so much, and we really appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Tyler. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks,
okay,
Patti.
bye.
Bye.